Alright friends, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to one and all. We welcome you at the day 24 of our full stack web development series. Okay, myself Shabnam as usual from the code Ark and aiming to deliver a lot of coding, that is extreme programming, to the people out there. Okay, fine. Would be glad if you could acknowledge in the chat section audibility, visibility, all set to go ahead. Yeah, Navin, good evening. Good evening, my friend. I read your chat message now. Message in the chat section. Okay, fine. Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned in the class last time. We started with the concept of object-oriented programming in JavaScript. In fact, a very strong fundamental principle of any programming language. Am I right? Fine. In fact, if you are aware, अगर आप जानते हैं, the programming languages are categorized into these groups. Those which are object oriented and those which are like procedural or structured oriented. Thank you. Okay, some languages are object oriented language, some languages are procedure or structure oriented language. Take it as a homework for self study today. What are these structure oriented language who don't support the concept of OOPS? Is that okay? Fine. Alright, let me quickly present the same notepad file for a minute to have a walkthrough. Okay, these were the points we had discussed last time. Good evening everyone. Good evening please. I'm continuously reading your messages in the chat section. Okay, fine. So object-oriented programming basically talks about classes and objects. The basic principle of OOPS is that you talk about the design of the object first before actually creating it. Is it right? Like for example, this object might have been designed first before it was manufactured. Its height, its material, its width, its size, its circumference, etc. Okay, so that one master copy, or let me say the master design, becomes nothing but a class here, and the other copies which are created out of master design, that becomes its objects. Correct? Every object, like in a real world, also have two characteristics. Similarly, in object oriented programming also, every object have two characteristics: properties and methods. Properties always define the feature, like how does the product physically look like, its height, its width, its this, its that. But function or a method is it always answers, like what is the use of that particular object. Is that okay? If I have a pen in my hand and I say you that it writes blue, so that's the property. Am I right? And what is the use of that pen other than color or the material of the pen, if you talk about, or the shape? Am I right? Acha, what is the use of the pen? It is used for writing. Am I right? This glass is suppose some 10 centimeter in height, so that's a property. But what is the use of this glass? Okay, it's used for the storage of some liquid or for drinking or something like that. Correct? Fine. Alright. So then later we moved ahead to understand the concept of constructor. Constructors are those special functions inside the class which is used to initialize the properties of the class. Correct? And more than understanding what is a constructor, people, if you could go back to the Friday session, I had emphasized why to use constructor. Am I right? आप दो क्वेश्चन में अंतर समझ रहे हैं? Am I right? ये दो सवाल, ये दो क्वेश्चन प्रश्नों में अंतर समझिए. Try to understand the difference between the two questions. What is a constructor, but more important is to understand why to use the constructor. Right? So if a particular class comes with 100 properties, so it's not easy to by heart and remember the names of spelling, name, case, upper or lower. Am I right? Of those 100 properties and assign the values outside the class. Am I right? So simply we pass these values to the property as argument of the constructor, and inside the constructor it simply assigns these incoming arguments value to the respective property. Is that okay? Fine. Alright, constructor always name the property or it prefixes the property with the keyword this. This always points to the object which is currently calling the function or property or constructor. Am I right? Okay, last point to be discussed here and we go ahead to the duty of today. Whenever we create a new object, there are many methods to create an object. This is one of them. Alright. Whenever we create new object, these round brackets after the name of the class is a direct call to the constructor. If you have not made the constructor, remember this point we had not discussed last time. I remembered, I don't know right or wrong. ये आपको पिछली बार बताया कि था कि नहीं मुझे याद नहीं है अभी. Okay, this round brackets after the name of the class, first of all it's called as it's a call to the constructor. If the class contains a constructor which you have coded well, and if you have not coded a constructor, every class has a default constructor which returns nothing. Is that clear? I repeat this point again. Every class has one default constructor if the programmer has not already coded, which returns nothing. Right? So even if you have not programmed or if you have not coded for the constructor and if you're still calling it during object initialization, it's absolutely fine. The code is not going to give you any error and the constructor is going to return nothing. Good, thank you. Got it. Thank you, Wasim. Thank you, Naveen. Is that okay? Fine. Alright, people. I'm going to write one small program to begin with the session today. Again on OPS. This question I'm taking from the one which I had written in assignment. This one. Okay, if you have remembered, this was a question I had given to you in assignment. Some 10 to 12 questions were there in assignment. Okay, ma'am, can you write without constructors? Yes, you can. No. I got a question now. Means you're asking here, this way. This way, right? If you are asking Naveen the question this way, this should be to others also. That can I create object of the class without using the constructor? Answer is no. That's an invalid syntax. Okay, I hope I have not misunderstood and this is only what you asked. This is not possible. Okay, while initializing an object, a class is always called with a constructor. Okay, and if the constructor is coded in the class well, and if the constructor is not found to be present, the default constructor comes up who returns nothing. Okay, acknowledge in the chat section, Naveen, if this was only what you asked and I answered you right or not. Okay? Okay, people, fine. This was one program I had mentioned in the question bank. Now, I don't know how many of you could get time to go through the question bank. आप में से कितने लोगों ने वो program code किया है? Okay, may I know your status in the chat section in case if you have solved the questions present in the bank? Okay, meanwhile, I read this one. Please, I read this one. This is a little standard one. So, if you're writing a JavaScript code, that creates a class called as a bank account. Okay, so it's very clearly mentioned in the question, name of the class is going to be a bank account. Okay, I'm writing here only. Later on, we will paste it. So, class bank account. Okay, this is how something it is going to look. Okay, and this class is going to be with the properties account number, name of the account holder, okay, and balance. Okay, Naveen, I'll come to your question one more time. Let me finish this part. Yep. Good afternoon, Saurabh. Okay. Take it. Right, so this should be the three properties: account number, account holder name, and the balance. Okay. And include methods to deposit, withdraw, and transfer money between two accounts. I'll keep the code short here. From the assignment question, let me do the first two. Last one you will be doing. That is deposit of the money and the withdrawal of the money. Okay. Create multiple instances and perform the operation. Guys, now whenever somebody says in the question create instances, so remember instances always mean object. Is that okay? Instance का मतलब होता है create an object of the class. Okay, fine. So let's start coding this program. You also help me please one by one. Okay, I'm using the same folder which I created on day 19, but I create a new JavaScript file. So let me say day 24 program1.js. Okay, so this is the class bank account. All right. The class need to have 3 properties. Now Naveen, if you are asking, okay, can you write without constructor? I can do that. In fact, you know, the first program which I started with object oriented programming, that was without constructor. Okay, if you write the program without constructor, तो हमारा काम बढ़ जाएगा class के बाहर. Check it out how. Okay, so let me say name of the account number is equal to something, some junk data I'm writing here. Okay, and account holder name. So let me write like this, account holder. Okay, would like to let you know underscore is a valid character in a variable name. Okay, underscore is a valid character. Not all special character can be used as a part of variable name. Like instead of you can't use asterisk here. You cannot use these characters like front slash or backslash. I hope you got my point. Okay, you cannot use hyphen. You see it's showing you some error. Yeah, you can use underscore. It's a valid special character that can be a part of the name. Okay, name of the account holder, let me say he is Raj, and bank balance in his account is say 50k. Okay, so this is 50,000. Alright, first let me create an object of this class, assuming this class has no method as of now. Okay, so B1 is first instance of the class in new bank account. Okay. Yes, Shreyas, now your answer can be biased. Now I ideally prefer account number to be a string. People, you have to pay attention to what Shreyas is asking in the chat section. See, ideally try to understand something very clearly. हर वो जो number दिखता है is not a numeric data. Okay, I have to exclusively pause here. Everything that looks like a number doesn't mean it's an integer or it should be a numeric data. For example, look, for example, I come here in this notepad file. Let's take, I live in Mumbai and my pin code of my area is 400097. Okay, and there is someone else also who is from Pune and he or she writes the pin code as something like that. Is it okay? Now you tell me one thing, these both looks numbers, correct? But if you add them, whatever answer you are going to get, आपको जो भी आंसर मिलेगा, does it make any sense to add the 2 pin codes? No. Am I right? Your contact number is something, my contact number is something. You understood? This is a 10-digit number and this is your 10-digit number. Any junk number I'm writing. Got my point? Alright. But you tell me, just because the 2 mobile numbers are number, I add them. Even if you add them or subtract them or multiply them or divide them, the answer which we will obtain, is it going to make any sense or meaning? No. That's the reason ideally we don't consider such kind of data as a number. We generally declare it as a string. Is that so? It's a good practice if it's a mobile number or if it's a pin code, if it's an account number, declare it as a string. Because even if you declare it as an integer or let it go as integer, it's not going to give you any benefit of mathematical operation. You understood? This would be too early to speak, especially to the people who are coming here from non-IT backgrounds. Data numeric वही होता है जब जिस पर mathematical operation will give some benefit. Understood? For example, price of the product. If I say price of this product is 78.9, price is going to multiply with quantity to generate an amount. Are you understanding? यहाँ से price, वहां से quantity लेकर हम amount generate करेंगे ना. So if I multiply price with quantity, or if I multiply price with some other thing and I subtract discount, I add GST, तो ये सब mathematical expression उसके ऊपर करने से जो answer आएगा, that is really going to make some sense. So only such kind of data should be declared as a number. हर वो data, everything जो दिखने में number is should be numeric, that is not true. Clear? Others also understood, right? Everybody? Is that clear? Okay, what about age, friends? What about age? Come on, should it be numeric data or it should be a string kind of data? Think little deep. Not only mathematical operation, in fact some other operations as well. What about age? Yes, age is a numeric data. Say you enter your age and I want to check the eligibility, you can vote or not. Whether you, but number is greater than 18. To check something is greater than 18, the other thing should be a number, correct? Fine. So this was your question and this is my answer. So if there are two account number, there is not going to, never it's going to make sense to multiply the two account numbers and divide the two account numbers and one account number raised to the power of other account number. Am I right? So it's illogical. Understood? Despite of the fact it looks like a number, but it's not numeric, it's a string. Yes, my friend, age is a numeric data. Of course, I'm not going to add the two age, but definitely I'm going to compare the two ages, correct? No fool. Please try to understand what I'm talking here. No fool is going to compare the two account number. Of course, I can compare the two account balances, but I'm not going to compare the two account number, correct? Fine. Chaliye. So this is my bank account. But if I write B1, people, document.write, I should have created one function display there, but it's okay now. Document.write. Okay, now because B1 is an object of bank account, it can access all these three properties. Alright. So let me say B1.account holder, B1.account number. You give proper breaks and spaces, please. We always work in a time constraint, so I keep avoiding that. Your program ka output should be user friendly. Okay, B1 dot, who's that? Balance. Okay, so if I print this, come back here. Acha, my mistake. I have not linked this file with HTML. So let's come back here. Instead of some other file, let me write day24 program1 JS. Okay, so the output is here. No, but my name is not Raj. Friends, my name is Rajesh. My bank balance is not 50,000. My bank balance is 35,000. Alright, so what I have to do? What I will have to do? Come on. What I will have to do? I'll have to change all this. Name. Account holder name is equals to Rajesh. Am I right? Who's that? Balance is equals to 35k or 35,000, and my account number is equals to something like this, 123 something like this. Okay, I might have done mistake in the total number of digits over there. Is it okay? Fine. But then Navin, that was my objection. Now who is going to write this property names again to declare the values if you don't use the constructor, correct? The output to abhi bhi aayega. Save this, run this. So the name is Rajesh. Okay, today I'm going to teach you one thing, people. In fact, okay, this is all what we are going to do. My last slide talks about overriding method or property. Okay, overriding. Overriding means what? Overwriting in this case. Check what happens. Okay, what happens exactly? Now, what was the actual account holder name Raj? But object, okay, object has changed the value of Raj to Rajesh. That means this property got overridden. You understood? Fine. This property got overridden. We'll learn more about method overriding and property overriding once I start talking about inheritance. Clear? I just gave you an example here. When you are not using the value assigned to the property inside the class, but you're changing the value and displaying your own version of it. Alright? Fine. In case if you have not understood, never mind, keep that part aside. Come on. So now if I want another bank holder, especially to Naveen who asked me this question, come on, there is one more bank account. So that means what? I'll have to repeat this code again. Correct? I'll have to repeat this code again. So what I do, I copy this 4-5 lines of code to save our time. Okay, 1 minute please. Right? And this is the second account detail. No, two objects cannot have the same name. आपको डर लगता है भाई मैं गलती से अगले वाले को ना B1 दे दूं. So use let then. Because this is going to prevent this name B1 to be used again, correct? Or const also, that is also fine. Am I right? Fine. So similarly, if you are afraid भाई गलती से ये नाम ना दोबारा use हो जाए, overwrite हो जाएगा, so make sure that you're using let. Choice is yours. Okay. So B2, B2, B2. Am I right? But then, my friend, if I do not create a constructor, hello girls and boys, you see how ugly is your class? How ugly does it look? If you do not create the constructor of the class, every object will have to declare its name, balance and account number in this fashion, correct? So aren't you increasing this 3 lines of code every time? Plus it is hectic to sit and remember and type this property names account underscore holder. And what if I do not use this underscore and I just write account holder? Later on it is going to give me an error, property not found. Correct. Fine. Fine. You see error, let me say, output तो आपका अभी भी आएगा, but this is not a right way to achieve an output. Say like this. Okay. So I'm still getting an output here. I think I should change the name to something. So instead of Rajesh, I'm talking about Suresh. Correct? Fine. Okay, quick. Now all of us who are present, help me how to create the constructor. Let me get rid of this code, please. I get rid of this code. Out. Now we have only class left with us. Just class. Quick. So this is the constructor of the class. It is going to accept the argument. Let me say A, B, C. And if you're a little particular, so write like this: name, account number and balance. Okay. So this dot account holder is equals to name. This dot account number is equals to ACCNO. And this dot balance is equals to bal. Okay, this is not, it's just simple to write ABC here. Okay, so let me create one function called as display, and this function will always display the information. So say document.write. Okay, document.write. Let me give a break here. So this dot account holder, this dot account number, this dot balance. Did I write that? Okay, this dot balance. Is that clear? Okay, fine. Let's create one object, say B1 or let B1, whatever is your choice, is equal to, let me use let. Okay, new bank account. Okay, say name of the holder this time is okay, Raj. Name, account number, I pass it as 121. Okay, and balance I pass it as 15,000. Okay, as of now I'm creating only one instance of the class. You create as many instances as you like. B1.display. That's clear? So we save this, we run this. Raj, account number and balance is here. What is the balance? 50k. Okay. Alright. You want some space, then please write the space this way. Okay. Let me do this way. Ampersand NBSP plus. Again. Account number. I'm just concatenating space here, people. Okay. Ampersand NBSP. So all fine. Yeah, it looks cool. Alright. Okay. So he has some amount 50k in his account. Now suppose that I want to withdraw rupees 10,000. Correct? So how will I do that? Come on. This is what the question asking, if you could read it carefully. Include methods to deposit and withdraw. I'll show these two parts to you. The logic for transferring money between account, you do it. I leave it up to you. Let me see how you come up with that. Okay. So let me go inside the class and create one more function. Withdraw. Okay. Now there are many ways you can code this. I am creating this function withdraw and it will accept one argument called as amount. Okay, because how much money you want to withdraw, how we will know, right? Fine. 1 minute. Keeping this code incomplete here. Code incomplete. I come down. Let me show you how this function will be called. We will say withdraw. And how much to withdraw, I will pass that figure as argument to the function. Got it? Guys, are you understanding? कितना withdraw करना है आपको? Am I right? Of course, the bank आपको पूछेगा, you want to withdraw? Tell me the principal amount to withdraw. So the same amount we are passing it as argument to the function. AMT, the argument is accepting the value. And all that it has to do is, you have to update. Am I right? If I go to withdraw something from a bank balance, bank क्या करेगा? Account balance update करेगा. Correct or not? Your account balance will be updated in case if you withdraw or deposit some amount. So which property to change if the money withdrawal request comes? This dot balance. No, my account holder name will not change. Or why will my account number change? Correct? If I withdraw money, my account number will not change. My account holder name will not change. Only one property which will be affected, that will be my bank balance. So my bank balance is equals to whatever is a bank balance minus amount. Is that okay? So the new bank balance should be existing bank balance minus amount. Okay, I can't write amount because name of the argument is AMT. Okay, so tell me how would it work? कैसे काम करेगा? This 10,000 as a value will be accepted in argument AMT. Am I right? Yeah, correct, Navin, you are right. AMT will be subtracted from the current balance and the balance will be updated. I'll show you one more thing here. There is a concept in JavaScript called as a shortened operator. Shortened operators. You see the above expression, how does it look? Okay, it is something like this, guys. It is something like this. Check it out. Say A is equals to A plus 10. So this can be written as A plus equal to 10. Alright. When you want to add, subtract, multiply, divide in the variable itself, matlab self variable. So this is a short way of writing A equal to A plus 10. Alright. Fine. So if I write like this, come on, if I write like this, A is equals to A minus 10. So the shorthand of writing this expression is A minus equal to 10. Okay, these are called as shorthand operator, people. Plus equal to, minus equal to. Similarly, we have something called as multiply equal to. Then comes divide equal to. And many more, modulus equal to. These are the 4 basic things which we need to know as of now. हाँ बट आप बोलोगे भाई इसके लिए क्या करें फिर a is equals to b plus 10. Can I use like this a plus equal to 10? Answer is no, because the two variables are different here. You got it? Correct. These two variables are different. You want to add something in other variable and update yourself, then shorten cannot work. Only if you want to add, subtract, multiply, divide in the variable itself, then the logic of shorten operators work. Guys, so if someone could acknowledge this in the chat section, I would be glad for that. There's a concept of shorten. If it is understood, please acknowledge in the chat section. आपके हाँ ना बोलने से हमको समझता है whether you are progressing or not. Shorten concept clear? Navin, Shreyas, Wasim, Saurabh, Krutik, Rakesh, if you are here, guys, these names what I can read if you are here, okay. In case if it is not, even then to let us know. So how this expression we will write in the shortened way? How this expression can be written in a shortened way then? This dot balance, because it is subtracting amount from balance, right? So we will write minus equal to amount. I hope you got my point. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. Right? Okay, I am keeping this upper part commented, whereas these two code is same. दोनों मत कोड कर देना, दो बार माइनस करेगा फिर. Deduction will happen 2 times. You got my point. Fine. So this is how it will happen. So up balance will be updated, but there is still some flaw in this code here. Output would definitely come, but how will we come to know? So save this. Come here. You see, it is not showing me the updated balance, right? So there are two ways now. The balance is still 50,000, but that's the older balance. So either you call this function again b1.display. That means once before withdrawing, then after withdrawing. So it is 40,000. And you don't want to call this display again and again. So never mind, inside the withdraw only, say document.write balance. You understood? Document.write the current balance. So let's see it works or not. Let's see. Okay. So if 50,000 was my old balance, after withdrawing 10,000, 40,000 has become a new balance. Okay, now when you people will sit to code this program, you don't code my way. You take an input in the text box and pass it as argument to the function. आप समझ रहे? आप उधर लेबल बनाइए, enter amount to withdraw and then text box, guys, like this. I won't write the complete code. I'm just giving you one hint. Okay, like this. For example, label, enter the amount to withdraw. Okay, and then there will come one text box. C input type is equals to text or number, whatever you want, and ID as something, say AMT. Okay, that doesn't matter. Input box closes, or even if I could close it here only, that's okay. Fine, do that way. I have just kept this code under the comment because I don't want unnecessary output on the page. Is that fine? All of us? Acha, one more thing, guys, you all are not asking, but let me only provide you the correct information with. If somebody requests for the withdrawal of an amount, you first have to check, do you have sufficient balance in your account to be withdrawn or not? Is that correct? Your account balance, bank balance is 50,000 and you're requesting 75,000 to withdraw. How is it possible? Right? So you will actually do this or achieve this via if else in the withdraw function, correct? Like only if amount is greater than, or let me say less than, not greater. I repeat, only if amount to withdraw is less than the bank balance, then only update the balance and withdraw the money. Otherwise, else state a message insufficient balance, correct or not? Fine. So you are going to code it that way. Let me know by tomorrow in case if you're not able to do it. Is that okay? I'm intentionally leaving some holes here so that you brainstorm your mind. Good, thank you. What about the withdraw ho gaya? What about deposit then? Deposit, people. Okay. Let me receive some argument again here. And deposit is going to do what? Whatever amount it takes as argument is going to be added in the balance. Is that okay? That's going to be added in the balance. Chaliye. So document dot write again this dot balance. This was not compulsory but necessary. Yes, that's what I said. Na, Naveen, check the balance first before withdrawing. No, but for deposit you don't have to check the balance. So no fool is going to write if else here. बच्चों आप बात समझ रहे हैं? To deposit the money, I'm not going to check the balance, so I don't need if else here. But for withdrawal, definitely I need to check what is the current balance. Correct. So if I could save this, I need to call this function. Okay, let me give some break. Otherwise, everything comes on the same line. Is that fine? So save. V1 dot deposit. How much to deposit? If you do not want to pass directly a number here, then using prompt box, take it as input from the user, store it in a variable and pass that variable as argument. I hope you understood what I said. ऐसा directly आपको देना नहीं है भाई 25,000. आप तो use JavaScript prompt box or HTML input text box. Okay. Alright, so see how it goes. 50,000 was my original balance. 10,000 withdrawn, so it became 40. 25,000 deposited, so it became 65. Is that okay? All of us. Fine. So this is the concept of an object-oriented programming up until now that we have studied. The rest part of the program mentioned in the question which I have not coded, you try. Is that okay? That would make you explore something more also about object-oriented programming in the form of self-study. Do it, please. Is it okay? Fine. Okay, people. What new we are learning today is this part. That is inheritance. Okay. What is inheritance? First of all, try to understand every object-oriented programming has 4 basic principles. Come on, I write the point here. Object-oriented programming. This was example. Okay, next. 7th point. To continue that file. Object-oriented programming has following principles. Okay. First of all, inheritance. Then comes encapsulation. Then comes polymorphism. Polymorphism. Are you getting my point? Then comes your this one, abstraction. Okay, what we are talking about today is just inheritance. Alright, inheritance. Come back point to point here. Guys, before I could present to you my point or technical definition, we might have ever used this word inherit in our daily lives. This is in fact, this example I gave you last time also. So this house where I live, this home where I live, this belonged to my family. My father, he inherited from his father, that means my grandfather. You understood? He inherited from my grandfather. So this is how the inheritance is been in our family been flowing on. Is it right? Fine. Now when my grandfather when it belonged to my grandfather, it was a small size. My father added one more room. I added third room, so it is a big home today. But eventually we are inheriting since right from our ancestor. हमारे जो पिताजी है, दादाजी है, उनके दादाजी है, तो ये परंपरा चली आ रही है. Amen? Exactly, that is what is the meaning of inheritance even in object-oriented programming. One class can inherit properties and methods of another class. Again, one class can use properties and methods of another class. One class can take properties and methods of another class. Provided, condition applied, provided that another class allows it. You understood? So this is point number 1. Read my first point now. Inheritance in JavaScript, it lets a class inherit. Okay, I repeat, it lets a class inherit all the methods and properties of another class. But again the question comes, this is the answer for what is inheritance. But why? My friend, ऐसा कोई क्यों करेगा? Why would one class take property and functions of another class? One and only one answer. To reuse the code. You understood my point? To reuse. Come on, I repeat the point again. Okay, inheritance. Okay, in fact I have written here also uses of inheritance, that is code reusability. You don't want to code the same thing again, guys. Now imagine the class I created bank account. People, this class we created, right, bank account. Okay, now there are two types of account, or maybe more than two. Okay, maybe called as a saving account, maybe called as a fixed account, or some other account, or ABC account, or XYZ account, or current account. You understood? Now you talk about the saving account, you talk about the current account, you talk about the special women account. But these three features of all the account is common, right? Even the saving account is going to have an account holder name. Even the current account is going to have the account number as compared to your saving account or any other account. Is that clear? Doesn't matter what are the different types of account. But ये तीन चीज तो property तो common है. Only what is different between saving and current, that should be extra additionally coded in another class. Rest all the properties and methods should be inherited from the parent class. Is that very clear to you? Okay, you look, I have another picture here. Check this. Check this. This is a class animal. This class animal has two functions, people. Come on, the class animal has two functions, eat and sleep. Am I right? So almost every animal eats, almost every animal sleep. This is nothing different from animal to animal. A cow eats, a cow sleep. A dog eats, a dog sleep. Elephant eats, so the lion sleep, and the tiger eats, etc. So this is common. So let all the animals whom you create, animal classes whom you create, all of them inherit these two common functions from animal. But not all animal is going to bark, right? Only dog should have this function bark. So this is special, this is exclusive only to dog. So let this function be only coded in the dog class. And let dog inherit and call the two function eat and sleep from the animal class. You understood? So in this example, if you could see this arrow mark here in between the two classes, it is dog who is inheriting the properties and methods of animal class. Is it okay? If somebody could acknowledge in the chat section, is this concept clear? Alright, fine. So similarly, for example, I have a class called as a professor. Okay, not professor, let me say person. Okay, tell me what could be the different properties of a person. Every person has a name. Every person has age or date of birth, correct? Everyone has name, everyone has age or date of birth. Let me say every person has a gender, say male or female kind of. But then professor is also a person. Professor. Am I right? Doctor is also a person. But when you talk about professor, there might be some properties different. You talk about the doctor, there might be some properties different. Okay. You talk about employee. Employee is a person. Take these two example, people. Okay. Professor, doctor, chhod do. Employee is a person. Customer is a person. Correct? But salary is going to be the property only of employee, not of customer. Correct or not? We don't pay to the customer, but we pay to employee. So customer ho ya employee ho, both of them are going to have name, both of them are going to have the respective ages, both of them are going to have the gender. But salary as a property will belong only to employee, not to customer. Am I right? Fine. This customer is with us since how many years? 2 years or 3 years. So number of years the customer is loyal to us. Loyalty could be a property only to customer. You understood? So the loyalty. I hope you got my point. For example, since past 10 years, I am using say some SIM card of the brand ABC. So I am loyal to them. So this loyalty is expected from customer, not from employee. I hope you understand. So code only those things additional or extra in the other class which you are not present in the master class. Okay, this is called as inheritance. One class inheriting another class. Alright, when this is the main class, people over here, this is called as a parent class. Okay, the main people or the master class. You call it as a parent class, you call it as a master class. And the other class who are inheriting the master, they are called as child classes. Okay, so employee is going to be the child class. Customer is going to be the child class. Okay, say I have another class here called as a student. Okay, now there is a property called as marks. Now I will not give marks to customer. I will not give marks to employee. Marks is a property only of student. Am I right? But student is definitely going to have name, gender and age. So before creating student, first make student inherit the person. And only what is extra with there with student and not with person coded. Hence student also becomes a child class. Is that okay? Fine. So this is how inheritance defines the two classes. It primarily involves the two segments or two class. Child class, the one which inherits the property. And the parent class whose property is being inherited. Am I right? Alright, so if I am the owner of this house, maybe I am the inheritor. But this house was originally been owned by my father, grandfather, whoever. Is that okay? So the parent who is the master and the child class who are then further inheriting the master. Alright, and the most important point to be spoken is extend. See the last word on this slide. Extend is a keyword to inherit one class from another class. Okay, JavaScript may make use of the function extend to inherit one class by or from another class. Let's see how to code that. Okay, let's see how to code this. If you don't mind, let me take a new file. Okay, so say day 24 program 2 for inheritance. Okay, let me just write program 2 or this way, inheritance.js. Okay, so let's create a class, say person. Okay, constructor of this class accepts argument ABC. This dot name is assigned A. This dot age is assigned B, and this dot what should I write there? Name, age, and gender. Okay. Okay, so let me say this dot gender is assigned C. Okay, Fine, let me create some function here, called it as display information. So this is simply displaying document.write this dot name, this dot age, and this dot what should I write? Gender. Okay, so this is a simple class. Now I create first of all another class, a class student. So this class is empty, blank. Okay, as of now this class is blank. Is it okay? All of us. Now let me do this way. I create object of class student first. Say S1 is equal to new student. Okay, new student. A, B, name. So let me say name Raj, age 12, gender male. Okay, no, I don't know it works or not. I want to see what you expected. Okay, what you expected. Okay, first of all, this is okay. One thing I forgot to mention here is class student. But if you want student to inherit the main class person, this is where we write a keyword called as extends. Okay, class student who extends person. All your doubts with you, coming back to this point shortly. As of now, all your doubts with you. Okay, so this class student, it itself contains nothing. खुद के पास तो भाई कुछ नहीं है, but it is extending the master class person. Okay, so I try. Let me see if I could pass these three values. If not, what error it gives me? S1, this is by mistake. S1 dot display. Okay, if I could save this and come back here. Not day24 but inheritance. So you could see what happened. Raj 12 male. People see this was in fact beautiful. You see, I did not code anything in the class student, but it is still giving me an output. What made this program to work? Tell me what made this code to work. This part. Okay, now when you say extend person, that means everything that belongs to person, I also inherit. You understood? I also inherit. But suppose if you have wanted some another property also, like marks of the student. Okay, because I can't see marks in the person class, right? So how we'll do that? Come on, let's create constructor of this class student. Okay, let me accept 4 arguments, A, B, C, D. Okay, where A is going to be the name, B is going to be the age, C is going to be the gender, and D is going to be the marks. Would be glad if you could write in the chat section your understanding or not, people. I hope the previous code understood. You look, S1.display worked. S1 is object of the child class student, but it could still access the function display because it belongs to the super class or the parent class. And since as a child I am inheriting the person class, the display will belong to me also eventually. Good, thank you. Okay, good, fine. So now tell me, see, constructor of the student class is ready. It is accepting 3 argument A, B, C, but don't expect me, people, don't expect me to do like this. This dot name is equals to A, this dot age is equals to B, this dot gender is equals to C, this dot marks is equals to D. आप मुझसे उम्मीद नहीं करना. Why should I repeat these 3 lines of code? Are you getting it? After accepting 4 arguments in the student class object, Why should I repeat these 3 lines of code again? You see, it's already my parent class doing it ना. अरे भाई ये काम तो already parent class का constructor कर रहा है. So in this case, what you have to do is, to do this assignment of incoming argument in the child class, you have to call the constructor of the parent class here. So let me comment this line and show you how to do that. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Instead, people, just a moment. I think my WhatsApp is open here and it is creating me a problem. Oh, okay. I'm set to go. Okay. So this is the constructor of student class. Okay. We make use of the keyword super. People, super is a keyword. Come on, super is a keyword to access the constructor of the parent class. Okay. See, I have written the same point here as well. Okay, fine. Super is a keyword in JavaScript and it is used to invoke, that means access or call the immediate constructor or the constructor of the parent class. Why you want to call the constructor from the parent class? क्यों बुलाना है उसको to do this work? Am I right? ये काम करने के लिए उसको बुलाना है. People, see this work. The lines which I have commented here. The child class object, why should I repeat this work again when my ancestor is already doing it? Correct? My friend, my ancestor, that means my parent. My parent is already doing it. So why should I do it again? Let me call the worker of my parent only here. Correct? So how to call the constructor from the parent class? By using the keyword super. But make sure this constructor is accepting 3 arguments. Am I right? So what will I do? These first three arguments which I receive in the student class. Come on, the first 3 arguments which I receive in the constructor of the student class, I will send to super function. So the call from here will now go to the constructor of the super class. It will take, you see how it is coming. A from student constructor goes as argument to the person constructor. And here in the person constructor, it gets assigned to the property this.name. Alright, आगे बढ़ो please. B as an argument from student class constructor goes as argument to parent class constructor, and inside the person who is a parent class constructor, it gets assigned to the property this.age. Correct? Similarly, C, who is an argument of the child class constructor, goes as argument to the constructor of the parent class, and inside the parent class, it gets assigned to the property that is this.gender. But I'm not going to send D as argument to the parent. I'm not going to send D to you guys. Why? First of all, you don't accept any 4th argument. Next, you don't do this job of assigning D to any property, or you don't have a property called as marks. ये काम मुझे खुद करना पड़ेगा. Child class says. You got it? Girls and boys, the child class says, अरे this task I myself need to do. ये काम मुझे खुद करना पड़ेगा. Parent करके नहीं देगा. Is that okay? Fine. So if you are coding a constructor in the child class, make sure that you are first calling the constructor of the parent class. Even if you don't call the constructor of the parent class, people, this super function is by default called. You understood? When we call exclusively, हम explicitly लिखकर कब बुलाते हैं? When we want to specify from the child class to the parent class which arguments you want to call, pass. Got it? Good, thank you. I repeat this last point again. Even if you don't call, first of all, point number 1, in the child class constructor, parent class constructor using super keyword is by default called. वो तो खुद ब खुद आ ही जाता है. आपका बुलाने का देरी नहीं है. You understood? Super keyword says you write, you don't write. I am the least bothered. I'll be called by default. Is it okay? So why will we write and type this function and call it? Only when you want to specify, you want to provide, you want to specify which argument should be passed to the parent class from the child class constructor, we explicitly write the super keyword. Okay. Alright. Yes, my friend. Yes. Can we make one more child class as subject of the... Yes, Rakesh. Yes. It's like, it will be like this, my friend. It will be like this. Time won't allow me to do that, but sometime in the future I'll do it. Say A. Okay. Then B inherits from A. And then C inherits from B. You understood? So now what will C have? C will have everything that both A and B has. Okay, like I give you one example. See what is Rakesh asking us, guys, in the chat section. So there is a class called as vehicle. Okay, car is a vehicle. But then there are 3 subclasses of car also. SUV. Of course, only a vehicle who is a car can have these all types of sub-vehicle, correct? A bus cannot be an SUV, or an auto rickshaw cannot be an SUV. I hope you got my point. It is a car who is an SUV. Alright, there is another car called as an XUV. So what are differences between SUV and XUV will only be coded. Rest all the features will be taken from car and indirectly from the vehicle. Yes, I hope this example, is it clear? So how will you code it then? In short, see how will you code it? So class vehicle. Am I right? The properties inside its constructor. Alright, the properties inside its constructor. So say A and B. Okay. And then comes class car extends vehicle. Okay, so this will be the constructor. Say A, B, C. Okay, now to initialize A, B, C, I will write super and I pass A and B. This A and B from car will go as argument to vehicle constructor. Got it? Then comes class SUV who extends car, and this will be the constructor of SUV class. So A, B, C, D. Say D is for mileage. Understood? Or any other specialty that SUV has and the car don't have. That way. You understood? But my friend, A, B, C initialization, SUV says, why should I do? My fathers and grandfathers are already doing it up, na? Am I right? A, B, C का initialization भाई मैं फिर से क्यों करूं? ये तो ऊपर मेरे फादर, मेरे ग्रैंडफादर ने मेहनत करके किया है नीचे तक. So why should I, flow my sweat here to do all this? So what will I do? I will call the constructor. But now if you write super, hello friends, now if you write super by passing arguments A, B, C, you are not calling the constructor of vehicle. You are calling the constructor of parent class car. Got it? Who will in turn call the constructor of vehicle. You understood? So SUV first calls a constructor of car. Car indirectly calls a constructor of vehicle. It initializes AB. C will be initialized by car. And only D will be initialized by SUV here. Rakesh, is that clear now? Is that clear? Let me know if it is still not. Okay? Okay. So this part has been done. Okay. Student class receives the 4 argument as in the constructor, out of which 3 is been assigned, or let me say is passed as argument to the parent class constructor, and only this dot marks is assigning T. I hope you got my point. Is it okay? Fine. So if I could save it, yes, I will have to add one more argument here. See, because we are creating object of the student class, right? But now student class is accepting 4 argument. So let me pass the 4th argument as marks, considering this is out of 700 or 800. Say 800. I'm writing the marks as 700. But the problem is what, even though 4 arguments are accepted here, they have been assigned 3 by parent and 1 by the child itself. But still display abhi tak 3 ही show karega. How? See? Where am I? Raj 12 male. It's not showing the marks here, correct? It is not showing the marks. Why? Why? Tell me why. Because this function is writing only name, age and gender. So what we will do is, see, let me create another function here. Okay, say display, or let me give the name to the function as show details. Okay, show details. This function will first call display function to show the first 3 information. You understood? Why should I print name, age, gender again? ये काम तो मेरे ancestor कर रहे हैं ना ऊपर. So how will you call that? Simply write this dot display. And why was I allowed to use this function or call this function here, girls and boys? Come on, my open question to you. How come? कैसे भाई? How come you are allowed to use this function? This is the function of the class person. And if it is a function of the class person, only its object will be able to use it, correct? Who are you? I am the child class, am I right? See, by writing the keyword extend here, you have given me full authority to use everything that belong to person as student also, right? So with the output of this dot display, append this dot marks. Are you getting it? Everyone, are you getting it? Let me save this. Let me run this. What happened? The output is not there because I'm not calling this function. We are still calling the function display only, people. So instead of calling the function display this time, let us call the function show details. You understood? Let us call the function show detail. And when I come back here, okay, Raj 12 male, I need to check why it is showing me something undefined here. If you could give me time. I hope so things are well. Okay. Okay, fine. I'll keep it checked. Totally. Thank you. Okay, the reason for undefined, I'll keep it checked. As of now, not wasting the lecture time. Is that okay? All of us? Got it? Fine. Acha. Now, sometime it happens. See, sometime it happens. What let me suppose create this property as say this dot occupation. Okay, occupation. Now I am not or let me say like this, people. Let me create another class. Okay, let me create another class. Okay, say this is class animal. Okay, this is class animal. Okay, say it has a constructor who is accepting 2 argument AB. Okay, and I just write this dot name as A and this dot color as B. And there's one function here called as speaks. Okay, but I write here document.write a child class will override it. Okay, because what animal speaks what, कौन सा animal क्या speak करता है, so let the child class decide that. This is common, everyone will have it. So let me say there's another class called as a class dog extends animal. Okay, I don't even code the constructor here. I'm using the constructor of the parent only. Okay, I'm using the constructor of the parent. So how will I first create an object? D1 is equals to new dog. Okay, now because dog is extending animal and animal constructor has 2 argument, dog will also accept 2 argument. Okay, name of the animal, say dog, or some special breed of the dog. Color is say black. Is that okay? Fine. Now if I write d1.speak, d1.speaks, you see what is the output here? A child class will override it. Am I right? A child class will override it. So now what do you mean by override? When you create a property or a function in the child class by the same name as that of the parent class. Okay, I repeat the point again. When you create a function in the child class or when you create a property in the child class, method or property, anything in the child class with the same name as that of the parent class, people, the priority will be given to the function or property of the child class. You understood? For example, if I write a document.write, okay, document.write, a dog barks. A dog barks. Okay, so now you see even the parent class as a function speak and even the child class as a function speak. But when object d1 calls speak, who first gave me the output of the parent class, but now it gives me output of the child class, that is a dog barks. You understood? Why? How does it happen? This instance is called as a method overriding. If you could check the definition once. Alright, check it. So if a child class has the same method or property name as that of the parent class, it will use, that means the priority will be given to method and property of child class. This concept is called as a method overriding. I hope people are understanding so far. Alright, got it? Fine. So even if you create another class here, say class lion people, extend karna important hai, extends animal. Okay, and if you say speaks again and say a lion roar, okay, a lion roar, okay, and if you create an object here, say L1 is equals to new animal, say name of the animal, for example lion, what else, color, say brown, and finally if I say L1 dot speaks, no, but that method has gone overridden here, and what output you get in the browser is okay, let me check. One moment. One moment, please. One moment. Actually, what I did is Oh, guys, hello, friends. You are not looking carefully. See why I'm not getting the right output. I'm creating object of class animal, right? This should be the object of class lion, correct? This should have been the object of the class lion. I hope you got my point. Correct. So that's the reason I was not getting an overridden lion rows. Yes, Shreya's correct. You created an animal object and I was unnecessarily cutting and pasting the code up and down. That was absolutely not required. Correct. All of us. Fine. Now what you are going to take it as an assignment. आप क्या करने वाले देखिए. Okay. What will you do? It's a little challenging question. Not too much. Check this one. Okay. So we are going to write a JavaScript program that creates a class called as geometry. Okay. Yes. Okay, I can give you, Navin. I'll give you that. Fine. I need to prepare, but I'll give you. Okay. Chalo, JavaScript program that creates a class called as geometry with method to calculate the area. Okay. So this is how the class somewhat will look like. So this is a class geometry, and this class has some properties, but it has one method to calculate area. So let me say area. Okay, and document dot write. I'm writing a simple function here. So this function calculates an area. Is that okay? This function calculates an area. That's it. Okay, now create two subclasses. Subclasses means child class. Circle and rectangle that inherits from geometry. And override this function area. Same thing that we have done, people. Same thing. Okay, so let me create a class called as circle. Okay, in the constructor of the circle class, constructor, I accept an argument, and this argument I set it to my property radius. So this dot radius is equals to a. Got it? So now if I write area, and I defined area of a circle, say pi r square, pi 22 upon 7. So document dot write, people, document dot write, say 3.142 or just 14, that is the value of pi. This dot radius into this dot radius. So if you could check, area is a function in the parent class also, and area is a function in the child class also. Okay, so that means area has got overridden in the or by the parent child class, correct? That's what exactly it means. So you have to create not just one circle, another subclass is going to be a rectangle, correct? And how to calculate area of the rectangle? Just length into breadth, or whatever way you read it as, correct? So create an instance of the circle class and calculate its area. Similarly do the same thing for the triangle class. Is it okay? This notepad file I shall be posting on the group. Even if I delay it, you keep this program coded. Is it okay? Let's have a quick recap of what we have learned today. We initially started from writing one bank class program to revise and put up the concept of ops in at one place. Is it okay? We also somewhere in between discuss the concept of shorthand operators. Later on we move towards inheritance, people. Inheritance, correct? So inheritance, let a class inherit all the methods and property of another class. It allows the code reusability, and inheritance is achieved using an extend keyword, correct? Then there are two paradigms associated with inheritance: child class and a parent class. Okay, there are several uses of inheritances, like a code reusability. You can write clean code, easier to maintain it. That was an example. Overriding, if the child and parent has the property or a function by the same name, priority will be given to the child class. Super keyword, it is used to call the constructor or any method of the immediate parent class. And I think that's all. Is that okay? I hope the concepts were clear. You understood them well. If really it is, please do not forget to like and share our work. It's of absolutely no cost. Okay? All of us fine? So if there's no doubt, I see you back all again tomorrow. Same at 4 p.m. Okay, sending the attendance link in the chat section. Okay, fine class. Goodbye. Take care. Array programs. I think I sent you, Navin, right? You texted me yesterday also, but as far as I remembered, I sent you. No? Okay, I'll do that again. Let me cross check with the WhatsApp group what was been sent and what is been still pending. Okay? I shall do it as soon as possible.